A survey of mourners who had recently experienced the death of a loved one said that 80% of the statements made to them were unhelpful. Listening is a relatively easy thing that we think comes natural to us. However, with the research and reading that I have done, I have come to find that listening is a much more complex skill than we think it is. To keep this in mind, I think that one of the most important aspects of listening comes with the responsibility of knowing what to say in a supportive situation. We as humans have a lot to learn and understand about the importance of listening to someone, being able to know what to say to them. Today, I'm going to talk about the wrongs and rights of supportive listening. I will also present a model and that will provide a better understanding when to comfort and when to give your opinion. To start, I'm going to talk about the supportive listening and the right way to do it. B. R. Burleson defines supporting as expressions of care, concern, affection, and interest, especially during times of stress and upset. This means being there for the person and being able to respond to what they have to say. There are 5 responses that we can use to provide a better support for people struggling. This includes empathizing, agreement, offering to help, praise, and reassurance. Empathizing is being there for the person. This is simply saying, I understand what you're going through and it must be hard. Agreeing is agreeing with the person, understanding that they're doing their best. This could simply be, I think you're right, the landlord is being totally unfair. Offering to help is simply stretching out your hand, saying, yeah, I will be here for you if you ever need anything. It's just giving that little push. Praise is giving people that self-esteem boost that they might need. This is something saying like, you know what, you're doing a great job. That's a great assignment that you just did. Just helping them get through the hard times. The last one is reassurance. Reassurance is helping that person see the finish line, saying, I'm sure you're going to do great on your project. I'm sure you'll do fine on that test. The last thing that we need to really think about of supporting someone is understanding their body language. If they're kind of reserved and held back when you say something, you might not be being a very supportive friend. These are effective ways of listening and supporting people that are struggling through hard times. Now that we understand supportive listening and the right way to do it, we have to talk about how we can go about the wrong way. We've all been through a breakup. We've heard the cursed phrase of, you'll feel better tomorrow, or in 10 years, you'll forget their name. As true as that might be, that's something we don't want to hear if we're struggling. This is an example of the focusing on the then and there instead of the here and now. The person is more focused on the future than what the person now is experiencing. They might be experiencing pain or frustration, and that's something that they don't want to hear is the future's better. Another aspect that we seem to misstep is when someone's complaining to us, we want to give experience of past experiences, and sometimes we can get caught up in our own experiences and we're more focused on ourselves than the actual person. This can cause the person to feel distressed and act like we aren't actually listening as supportive listeners. The last one I'm going to talk about is minimizing the situation. This would include telling someone that, don't worry, it's just one test, or it's just puppy love. These might seem like little or insignificant sayings, but it can have a major impact on the person. These are a few examples of ways that we don't actually support someone, we tear them down. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the comfort in, dump out model. Supporting someone can be a tricky thing. Sometimes we say things that people don't actually want to hear. This is a good example of knowing where we stand on the comfort and giving opinion scale. In the middle, we have someone who is the affected. That first ring around them is their close friends or family or their significant other. This second ring is their true friends. Third ring is colleagues. And that fourth ring is someone just onlooking. Maybe they know the person and they just want to give their opinion. If you are in a bigger circle, you provide comfort. If you're in a smaller circle, you are looking for help, so you're dumping out things. The bigger the ring that you fall in, the more comfort you need to give. When talking to someone in a smaller circle, your goal is to help. Listening is much better than talking in this situation. If you're going to talk, think about what you're going to say. If it doesn't provide support and comfort, don't say it. This is a good model to help people understand where they stand in a supportive situation. This shows when to give comfort and when to seek comfort. To close, I want to push the importance of being a supportive listener. We now understand the importance of listening, and it shows that we care and have concern for that person going through a hard time. There are a lot of ways that as supportive listeners, we can say the wrong things, but if we actually listen to the person and understand what they're going through, we'll be there for them. We become effective supportive listeners if we just sit down and maybe listen. Sometimes we get caught up in our own needs and trying to help someone and we don't actually listen to them. Stephen R. Covey said, "Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. So next time someone approaches you for support, just remember to comfort and listen."